Alright, so today I'm going to be working on a goblin character called Yiz, and kind of walking through the design process of how I make a character and eventually draw them. I'm going to just start off with kind of figuring out the main characteristics so that I can accurately illustrate it and make it come alive. This is a goblin character, and is kind of narcissist, to say the least. So the pose that he's in should definitely display some confidence. Carries around a mace as his main weapon, which I should find a reference picture of because I don't exactly know what that's supposed to look like. I'm thinking I like this stick style a little more than the flail. You know what? No, let's screw it. All right, we're gonna go with the flail. I like that. Otherwise, you're just carrying a stick. Ah! Yeah. So when I'm designing a character, I always want to be finding reference images so that it looks accurate. When I was first starting off, I thought, oh, I need to do this all from my head. But do not be afraid to just look up an image of what you're trying to draw. All right, so we got the mace. I'm actually thinking boots with a spike on the end. I don't know why, it just seems like a little Yiz thing to do. It'll just be a very spiky character all around, I think. For I think since he's irritating, he should have sharp edges to represent that irritating nature. He's definitely like a bit of a misogynist. Oh, of course, up top he's got this long, flowy blonde locks that he can like push up into a ponytail. I think blonde with an E is for women in general, and blonde with a D is for men. Hey, cool. I'm right. Pretentious person like wearing a polo with a logo on it, but like a goblin version of that. And it's like cut off way too short. So you can see like the goblin's belly button. Okay, so I think this is a pretty good start for the character ideation. I may come back here and add some more details, or I may just figure them out on the fly. But either way, just having a character sheet like this is probably the best way of figuring out what you want to do before you start. I usually like to start with a document that's way bigger than I'm actually going to use, just so I can use as much space as possible and then trim it down later. Okay, without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and get started on sketch. So since has kind of a confident pose, I'm thinking that we should give him a curve upwards like this. His whole body should sort of be leaning back a little bit to indicate confidence. And yeah, for whatever reason, I'm thinking arms crossed. We'll see if that actually works. I'm holding a mace dangling on the ground. I just come up and I do a little acting myself to figure out which way the things go. So I've got my main sketch done now, and this isn't supposed to be accurate or anything like that. It's just really supposed to show me an outline of where I'm going to be drawing over. Let's go ahead and get started with the actual shape drawing. Okay, so this part I really wanted to talk about because this is something I've been developing over the past few days. I am like just now starting this like character illustration. This is one of my first ones. What I've been trying to do is try some weird things to figure out what style I really like, and adding in some elements that make it look like it's my own, which is really important as an illustrator because you want to define your brand. One of the things I really like to do is when I make my eyes, I just add in this little Pac-Man shape, like this, that I subtract from here. And I don't know, just like that small amount makes a little bit of a weird difference. And you can say, oh, I can tell that's Kevin's because it's got this like weird little cutout. Yeah, why are belly buttons so disgusting? Like, and this is another style thing that I really like. I use like these angled fingers. One, I think, you know, it just looks kind of cool. It's different. Two, it just makes a hand easier to draw. I just like it. It's cool. Like, your Instagram girls wish they could have hair as good as Urk. Holy cow, that looks terrible. But 1 second. So at this point, I'm getting pretty close to having like the rough version of Urk done. I think what I'm gonna do is fix up some details and I'll come back once I'm feeling a little more happy with this. Okay, so I figured out a couple of things that were bothering me. I fixed them, I'm feeling a little better. I got rid of a lot of the outlines because I realized it was kind of inconsistent what was or wasn't outlined. So I've added in like shadows here on the neck to imply an outline rather than have an actual outline. So I'm still working on them, but I feel a little better. So I'm going to keep working on that. I'm really bad about feet, so I haven't got to these bad boys yet because I'm definitely scared of drawing feet. I'm not very good at them, they're very hard, and so I've been avoiding doing them, but I think I'm finally going to get started on them. You know, that wasn't half bad. I'm actually kind of okay with those feet. Let's see how it translates into actual illustration though. Gonna add some more details, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I did a couple of things to clean this up a bit. So one of them I think is really important is right here. I added this little bump so that it looks like the thing is actually sitting on his shoulder instead of just sitting like on top of it. I added in some shadows here to the hair, and I added a shadow onto this arm since it would be casting a little bit of a shadow onto the shirt. I'm probably going to do the same for this collar. The other thing you want to keep in mind during the entire time you're doing illustration is you want it to be pretty simple in general with your shapes. So if you have something that could overlap, you might as well make it overlap because it'll just be even clearer what's happening. Now I think I'm going to delve deep into that hair, luscious locks, and add some texture to that so it doesn't feel so flat. And I might rework this shape here at the bottom as well. Alright, lovely. I think that hair is looking a lot more flowy, and I think I'm getting pretty close here to the end. I think what I'm going to do is make some final touches, and then I'll come back to you guys and talk about this process and add a few other things. So I made this really quickly. This is like a little logo. I remember that Urk is from a goblin college called Goblin State Academy, and so I made a little emblem for that, and I'm going to put that on his polo just for a little extra swag. And yeah, I feel like a little detail like this is something people won't really notice, but it's something that I will know it's there, so I think it'll be cool. Okay, so I think that'll help add a little more character to him other than just wearing a polo. Alright, now I'm going to finish up the details and then I'll be back.